Hello and welcome to Verdict 2015, our half-an-hour special where we get you the latest in campaigning for the Bihar polls. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor and here are the headlines. BJP President Amit Shah launches a scathing attack on Grand Alliance, says BJP will bring tsunami of development in Bihar. After his younger son, Lalu's elder son, Tej Pratap Yadav, to file nomination from Mahua constituency today. A Rajya Sabha TV exclusive. BJP's Kirti Azad says the BJP's main aim in the elections is to save Bihar from Jungle Raj. In the spotlight today, Bhagalpur, one of the oldest towns in the state, is grappling with lack of basic amenities. Our top story, BJP President Amit Shah will address the party workers in Supaul today. Now, Shah is presently in Bihar to hold meetings with party workers for districts going to polls on the 5th and the final phase of elections on 5th of November. On Sunday, he addressed a rally in Muzaffarpur. Now, taking a swipe at the Grand Alliance, Shah said that the Bihar will return to Jungle Raj if voters voted the RJD-JDU Congress combined to power. He also told voters that if BJP comes to power in the state, it will see a tsunami of development. Shah is presently holding a series of meetings and rallies in Bihar to energize cadres ahead of the make or break elections.
मुझे मालूम है ये कोई छोटा मोटा चुनाव नहीं है। बिहार में भाजपा की सुनामी आने वाली है, सुनामी आने वाली है। 25 साल तक ये लालू नीतीश की जोड़ी ने शासन किया है और लालू जी के 15 साल तो बिहार आज तक नहीं भूला, आज तक नहीं भूला। आप फिर से जंगल राज चाहते हैं। 25 साल के अंदर कोई विकास का काम नहीं हुआ और अब कहते हैं कि एक मौका और दो तो हम विकास करेंगे। मित्रों, 15 साल तक जिस लालू का नीतीश ने विरोध किया उसको कंधे पे बिठाकर वो मुख्यमंत्री बन गए।
All right, political analyst Dr. Shakil is now joining us live from Patna. Thank you so much, Dr. Shakil, for joining us this morning. Now, sir, after PM Modi, BJP President Amit Shah has also blasted Nitish Kumar for being arrogant to reject the special package. So, we'd like to know from you, how does this package politics work and how does the electorate see these packages?
Now, with the coming of this election commission's letter and order to the respective political parties that all the political parties who have released their manifesto and talking of many freebies and many schemes, they should come forward that how the financial resources for these will be managed by the new government. I mean this, and this has been done on one of the previous orders of the Supreme Court. So one will have to look into whether these packages which are being announced can really have the sound backing of the financial outlays on these issues. So that's how one can look into it. I mean, one can keep on announcing, BJP candidate announced, Sushil Modi ji announcing that they will be providing a scooty with petrol and then laptops and saris. I mean, these are all freebies. These freebies, and Election Commission has rightly asked from where these resources are going to come. Similarly, Nitish ji's alliance has also is talking of about too many things. Some of them are policy matters, but they are like giving reservation to women in services 35% and so on. But there are also many announcements which requires financial backup. So one will have to wait and look what these political parties have to say about the financial resources, from where they are going to bring it.
Obviously, political parties have a lot to answer, Dr. Shakil. But speaking about what PM Modi has announced his development package, do you think it has added a new dimension? And how do you think it is going to work for his party?
I mean, during elections, all the political alliances and parties make announcements. But if somebody who can look into the details of those announcements, some of it may appear that they are wanting. For example, in the Modi's package, there is announcement of rupees 2,000 crore for the development of new airport in Patna. I mean, that sounds ridiculously low. Anybody who has some idea that it will require at least 20, 30, maybe even 50 crores to develop, 50,000 crores to develop a new airport. So, I mean, what is being announced, that is very important to look into it, that whether those announcements are sufficient enough to meet or the requirement of that particular project. And the electorates of Patna, Bihar are possibly will be looking from this perspective also, that but announcements are always there to allure the voters so that they can come. We had announcements earlier by Modi ji that 15 lakh rupees will go in the coffers of every Indian citizen, but a meager 37,000 crore was collected by the 30th of September. So by that account, if we give each penny received out of this black money, only rupees 37 will go to the coffers, so of individual coffers. So announcements and the ground reality, and possibly the electorates are wise enough to look into this game.
You think the people are wise enough to look into this game? So do you think there are any downsides really of announcing such political packages?
Sorry, I didn't get you.
I'm asking you, do you think there are any downsides of announcing such political packages? Is Bihar really paying for the actions of its leaders who announce such packages, or probably the leaders who refuse such packages like what Nitish Kumar has done?
No, I mean, if Bihar requires funds, Bihar requires funds for its development. Bihar is one of the laggard states. The average income per person is almost half of the all India average. So the expenditure per capita on health is almost half of the national average. So Bihar requires funds, but it is important that these funds, these funds are coming, and then whether these will remain mere announcement or it will turn into a reality when the new government comes in. For example, the Union Health Minister was in town yesterday, and he told that the government of Bihar in the health department is very poor performing. But he forgot to tell that for 8 years, it were the health ministers from the BJP during last 10 years of Nitish's regime, and these vacancies of which he was talking, that 84 vacancies of specialist doctors and 82% vacancies of paramedical staff, and it existed when Nitish came in power, and the health minister was from BJP for 8 years, but nothing precious was done. So one wonders that now putting the blame entirely on Nitish and not understanding their own responsibility, precious little was done. Hardly 4% of the state budget is being spent on health. So with this meager amount, so that is where the money is coming, and whether it will be used for the benefit of the poor people or not, that remains a moot question.
Exactly. So every successive government really has sought either a special package or a special category status in Bihar. but these pronouncements actually have become a technique for survival of political parties in the state. Sir, you stay with us, so we'll just come back to you for more. And former Bihar Chief Minister Lalu Prasad's elder son, Tej Pratap Yadav, who is contesting the election from Mahua constituency, will file his nomination today. A Yadav-dominated assembly constituency in Bihar's Vaishali district, Mahua, goes to polls on 28th of October in the third phase of the five-phase assembly elections, which begin from 12th of October. Now, Tej's younger brother, Tejasvi Yadav, filed his nomination papers for the upcoming Bihar assembly polls from Raghopur constituency on Saturday. Now, both Mahua and Raghopur are adjacent constituencies in Vaishali districts, not far from Patna. Vaishali is considered a RJD stronghold. Lalu Prasad and his wife Rabri Devi won several elections between 1995 to 2010 from Raghopur itself. Now, the polls for the 243-member Bihar Assembly will take place in 5 phases between 12th of October and 5th of November, with the counting of votes slated for 8th of November. All right, let's go back to Dr. Shakil. Dr. Shakil, now both of Lalu's sons, Tej Pratap and Tejasvi Yadav, are contesting from this Yadav-dominated Mahua and Raghopur. But do you think that the Yadavs are going to remain focused on RJD, or do you think that they may be keen to shift this time?
It is difficult to say, but the way Lalu has been managing this election, and Lalu has tried to evoke that so-called Yaduvanshi Bhai Nara, and the way the election has been polarized on the caste basis, I think Lalu should carry a vast majority of the Yadav voters on his side.
Okay, but how much?
That seems to be the most probable scenario.
But don't you think that RJD faces a big danger really from the likes of Pappu Yadav and other Yadav candidates that other political parties have also fielded this time?
Yes, but if you see the distribution of tickets to Yadavs, RJD has given 64 tickets to Yadav candidates only. Almost 2/3 of its candidate fielded are from the Yadav, this thing. And the message is loud that we are the party who is going to protect the interest of the Yadavs. But yes, the Pappu Yadav phenomenon, or even some other Yadav leaders from other political parties, might have some effect in some of the constituencies. For example, Pappu Yadav might have some influence in Simanchal area where Yadav population is there. But across the Bihar, it seems at this point of time unlikely that Yadav will desert Lalu Yadav in this crucial battle of survival.
But if you look at the vote share,
they see their best chance.
Please go ahead.
So they see their best chance of coming back again. Of course, it's a piggyback riding on Nitish Kumar, but they see their best chance of coming to power once again when Yadavas were almost in a triumphant position for 15 years during Lalu Yadav's and Rabri Ji's reign.
But if you look, I was just asking you that if you look at the vote share, now RJD's vote share has been decreasing of late. In 2010 also their vote share had decreased as compared to the previous election. But do you think they will be able to retain it this time?
No, the polarization you see this time, unlike in 2010 when Nitish magic was on, because during 2005 to 2010 Nitish had shown the signs of leading a government which has a good governance strategies. So the electorates were impressed by the Nitish's performance in 2010, and that's why Lalu Yadav's share took a decline during 2010. But now Nitish and Lalu are together in 2015. So I think that the share of RJD will go this time around high.
And RJD also relies hugely on the Muslim votes, but with Owaisi's party AIMM in the Simachal region, how much of a difference is that going to make? Is that going to make a cut in the Muslim votes?
Not much. I think Owaisi is known more as a rebel rouser than a serious politician in Bihar. And his speeches are more in terms of rhetoric. And for the Muslims of Bihar this time, the advantage for them is that there is no confusion to which alliance they should vote. With Congress, Nitish and Lalu coming together, they almost seem to be decided to be voting in favor of the Grand Alliance, with having a very minimal impact of Owaisi in Simachal area.
Okay, so Yadav-Muslim combination formed the mainstay really of Lalu's dominance in state politics in since the 90s to the mid-2000s, and RJD is still banking on that MY factor. Thank you so much, Dr. Shakil, for joining us this morning and sharing your perspective on that story. Now, the BJP says its main aim in Bihar is to end what it calls as the Jungle Raj that the Grand Alliance will bring if it is voted to power. Our correspondent Amrita Rai spoke to BJP's Kirti Azad. Let's take a listen.
हमारे साथ हैं बीजेपी एमपी कीर्ति आज़ाद। कीर्ति जी, कैसा चल रहा है कैंपेन?
मेरा तो कैंपेन मिथिला में है और 5वें फेज में है, तो अभी तो फिलहाल लोगों से मिल रहे हैं, जो रूठे हैं उनको मना रहे हैं।
रूठे वो हैं या रूठे आप हैं?
नहीं, मैं नहीं रूठा हूँ। देखिए, कुछ भी स्थिति हो सब मिल करके निर्णय लेते हैं और वो सब करना पड़ता है। मैं खिलाड़ी आदमी हूँ, देश के लिए खेला, कभी नहीं सोचा कपिल देव कैप्टन है या सुनील गावस्कर। भारत की टीम जीतनी चाहिए, भारतीय जनता पार्टी जीतनी चाहिए।
तो इस समय कैप्टन कौन है?
कैप्टन तो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के सभी कार्यकर्ता हैं। इस समय जनता जनार्दन है, सदैव रही है। उनकी प्रतिष्ठा और इज्जत करना हम सबों का कर्तव्य है और करते रहें।
जिस तरह से उम्मीदवारों का चयन हुआ है, क्या आप उससे संतुष्ट हैं?
बिल्कुल, उसमें कोई समस्या वाली बात नहीं है। अब एक एक क्षेत्र से 17-17, 18-18 लोग होंगे जो चाहते हैं और होना भी ऐसा चाहिए, लेकिन अंततः मिलेगा तो एक ही को, तो फिर लोगों को मनाना हमारा कर्तव्य है।
बाय द वे, अगर आपकी सरकार बनती भी है तो मुख्यमंत्री कौन होगा?
वह पार्टी तय करेगी कौन मुख्यमंत्री होगा। मुख्यमंत्री इस समय विषय नहीं है। विषय यह है कि जंगल राज से कैसे मुक्ति मिलनी चाहिए हमको, तो पार्टी तय करेगी। मुझे बताइए, महाराष्ट्र में किसने तय किया था? किसने तय किया था झारखंड में? वहाँ की तो आप पूछते नहीं, हरियाणा की आप पूछते नहीं, वहाँ तो कोई तय नहीं था। तो कोई ज़रूरी है तय करके ही लड़ा जाए? अगर सब कोई एक साथ मिल करके लड़ रहे हैं और आगे कौन होगा नहीं होगा वो पार्टी तय करेगी, तो उसमें गलत क्या है?
चलिए, हमारी शुभकामनाएं आपको। थैंक यू।
And in Verdict 2015, we'll take a very short break. We'll be back with more election news. Stay with us.
Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of World Panorama with me, Frank Pereira.
Barack Obama has been elected on the basis that I will no longer take America into wars, and in fact quite the opposite, I will pull America out of wars.
According to the Indian government, fishermen are not at fault.
The US intervention in Iraq set the stage for exacerbation of these conflicts, and then the intervention in Syria.
Watch World Panorama at these times on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. Now, Bhagalpur in East Bihar is one of the oldest towns of the state, but local residents are still grappling with the lack of basic facilities like better roads and cleanliness. Our correspondent Vishal Daya brings us the special report from the district.
Medical college named after India's first Prime Minister, a state university. Institutions that might give an impression that Bhagalpur district is well placed in the fields of health and education, at least compared to its neighbours. But people here would disagree.
तो शिक्षा व्यवस्था को थोड़ा बदहाली को उसको सुधारना चाहिए और उसमें निरंतरता, तत्परता और सटीकता लाना चाहिए कि काम फटाफट हो सके।
हमारे जो यूनिवर्सिटी में है वो शिक्षकों की बहुत ज़्यादा ही कमी है, तो इस कमी को दूर किया जाए और मतलब हम लोगों को अच्छे से अच्छे बुक्स अवेलेबल हों और जो हमारे डिपार्टमेंट की बुनियादी ज़रूरतें हैं उनको पूरा किया जाए।
हॉस्पिटल में न तो समय पर डॉक्टर मिलते हैं, न अच्छा से दवाई मिलता है, कब आया कोई व्यवस्था नहीं है, वहाँ बहुत गड़बड़ है हॉस्पिटल का। स्वास्थ्य विभाग जो है सही ढंग से काम नहीं कर रहा है, न तो वहाँ हॉस्पिटल में अच्छा से भोजन मिलता है, न वहाँ देख रेख है। रोज़ जो है सो जूनियर डॉक्टर, सीनियर डॉक्टर सब जो है सो पेशेंट में मारे पीट होता है।
भागलपुर में जो नीतीश कुमार जी जो बिहार के जो शासन चला रहे हैं वो तो काम कर रहे हैं, लेकिन भागलपुर की धरती पर स्वास्थ्य विभाग बिल्कुल लाचार हो गया है। यहाँ अस्पताल में आए दिन मारपीट, रोगियों से दुर्व्यवहार, समय पर दवा नहीं मिलना, कोई तरह का कुछ नहीं है।
That's not all. For more than a decade, Bhagalpur residents have been complaining about the condition of their roads and never-ending traffic jams.
No proper management of traffic, encroachment on roads and no bypass for heavy vehicles. This may sound like usual issues for any city, but the people of Bhagalpur have been forced to deal with this mess on a daily basis. And this has been going on for years now with no solution in sight, despite the promises made by political parties in every election season.
For Bhagalpur residents, travelling on roads is an ordeal which they say they would rather avoid.
रोड जाम रहता है, बराबर दिन भर जाम रहता है, मतलब जगह जगह पर नो नाला है, नो पानी। नाला जब बारिश पड़ता है तो पूरा लोहा पट्टी लेकर से ठौना भर पानी चलता है, मतलब रोड पूरी तरह से जाम होता है कि जो अभी जो कोई पैसेंजर जो अगर जो बीमार पड़ जाए तो हॉस्पिटल जाने से रास्ते में दम टूट जाएगा। उसको
पुल जाम रहता है, सिर्फ ट्रैफिक की वजह से पैसा ले लेगा, पूरा पुल को जाम करे रहता है। केले वाला है, सेब वाला है, अब तो सब्जी की दुकान लगी वहाँ।
सबसे बड़ा समस्या टाउन का जाम, आए दिन पब्लिक परेशान और जो ट्रैफिक व्यवस्था का बेहाल, इससे निजात दिलवाइए। जो भी नेता आवे इससे निजात दिलवाइए, टाउन को साफ सुथरा करवाइए और जाम से निजात दिलवाइए।
But these irritants that highlight a lack of development may not have much impact on the elections.
तो मुद्दों का अभाव यहाँ नहीं है, मुद्दे हैं, लेकिन वे मुद्दे निर्वाचक को प्रभावित करने वाले मुद्दे नहीं हैं। वे मुद्दे चर्चा के लिए हैं, बौद्धिक विश्लेषण के लिए हैं। मतदाता उससे प्रभावित होकर उसको प्रभावकारी बनावे, राजनीति पर उन मुद्दों के प्रभाव को स्थापित करें, ऐसा आज तक किसी निर्वाचन में यहाँ नहीं।
7 seats of Bhagalpur district go to polls in the first phase on 12th of October. In 2010, the JDU and the BJP won 3 seats each. The Congress bagged 1 seat and snatched 1 more from the BJP in 2014 by poll. With camera person Prashanta, Vishal Daya's report from Bhagalpur for Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, it is a sorry state of affairs for BD workers in Jamui district in Bihar. Now, being the to-go destination for the cheapest labour in the country for the BD industry, people here are being exploited. With very little opportunities for employment in the district, women in most houses are employed as BD workers, risking their health to run their families.
These women spend the better part of their days rolling BDs. They earn anywhere between 40 to 60 rupees a day for rolling nearly 1,000 BDs. Jamui district offers the cheapest labour when it comes to the BD industry in the country. BD factories have long shut shop in Jamui, but even then BD companies prefer this destination for cheap labour.
मेरा पति कमाता है, उसमें घर नहीं चल पाता, उसी मजबूरी वजह से थोड़ा हम भी सहारा करते हैं उनको बीड़ी बना के।
उनको रोजगार क्यों नहीं मिला है?
मजदूरी कमाते, कोई दिन मिलता है, कोई दिन नहीं मिलता है, इसी वजह से।
कितना पैसा मिलता है?
60 रुपया, 1000 भी नहीं बनाने में। हाँ, रोजगार बोलेंगे सरकार को देने के लिए।
There are about 15,000 women involved in the BD industry here. Unemployment is a big issue in the BD industry that comes with its share of health hazards, and economic exploitation is the only way out for the women to make ends meet.
आँख ना उतना मालूम आपदा है, तब यो मजबूरी बच्चा बुतरू के चलती से पेट के चलती से देह में सुख नहीं, सब मन सही शरीर नहीं रहा है तो बनावा नहीं पा रहा है।
There are no industries here that can sustain a population of 17 lakh people. The youth are forced to move out for better prospects. The JDU won 4 seats in the district in 2010. Though it was an alliance partner of the JDU, the BJP is now blaming its ally turned foe for the massive unemployment.
मेरे सारे साथी बाहर नौकरी करने के लिए चले गए और हम लोग जो पढ़े लिखे हुए भी हैं, इंटर तक किए हुए हैं और हम लोग का कोई व्यवसाय भी नहीं है, अपना मजदूरी और करते हैं, उसी से हम लोग का घर परिवार चलता।
रोजगार का कोई यहाँ कोई साधन है ही नहीं, न कोई फैक्ट्री है, न कोई इंडस्ट्रीज है, न कोई ऐसा ऑफिसेज है। पढ़ने की व्यवस्था नहीं, पढ़ने के लिए भी लोग बाहर जाते हैं। यहाँ के विद्यार्थी पढ़ लिख लेते हैं तो रोजगार के लिए भी बाहर, चाहे बंगलोर हो, चाहे चेन्नई हो, चाहे दिल्ली हो, जाते हैं।
Promises are being made once again to turn things around for Jamui. But despite several ones earlier, ground realities remain unchanged. With inputs from Pranav Goswami, Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's all in this edition of Verdict 2015. Do watch our afternoon election bulletin at 1 p.m. But that's all from me and the election team at the moment. Thanks so much for your time.